What's up, everybody? Welcome to our channel on Us Hockey Takes. I am Hohen and this is Scott. Today we have breaking news.
Yeah, so just as of earlier this morning, Matt Boldy from the Minnesota Wild re-signed for a 7-year times $7 million contract. This is kind of good for the Wild, I think, overall. Hey, what about you?
Oh, of course. 7x7 is a terrific contract. I was talking to Scott off air about this when they first signed this player. A very good player on this team. I knew this player is going to be the future franchise player for this organization, right? Him and Kaprizov is going to play in this organization for a long, long time.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it in our last video. This guy came out really strong in his rookie season. He missed like the first 20 games last year. Then he came on and absolutely dominated the league. He looked like he was a veteran right out of the gate. It was honestly super impressive. And what was even more impressive was he's able to do some of this stuff without playing on the first line, playing second line minutes. He makes a lot out of it. And this is a team like Minnesota who doesn't really have the best cap situation this year. Unfortunately, they've still struggled with contracts they have from Sutter and Parise that seem to just go on and on. But this contract for Matthew Boldy, $7 million a year, the kid's so young. You're going to get his entire prime out of it, and I think it's going to age to be a very good contract.
And if you look around the league with inflation and everything, $7 million for this type of caliber player is really, really good. Remember, these teams are paying for what they will do. It's not what they did.
Exactly.
It's what they will do. And Matt Boldy is a very young player. He hasn't even come close to reaching his potential yet. It's a very, very good contract. Nothing more to say.
No, it's whack, actually. A lot of people I'm reading right now and hearing on social media, they're kind of bashing the contract and say, wow, they just give everyone money now these days. What the heck? And I'm like, no, man, this is a good contract. This is a guy who's going to play his entire prime. We're going to get 7 years. Basically all of his 20s almost is going to be played for this team at $7 million. He's already essentially a 65-point player in 82-game pace. So if he gets slightly better, this guy could be a point per game player that they're getting for $7 million for the next 7 years. And I think that's just absolutely unreal and a good steal, especially when the salary cap's going to be rising over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I really don't understand why people are complaining about this contract. This contract, it's like the same. I know I was a victim of this, but remember when Tage Thompson signed that contract there as well?
Yeah.
And look at him right now. But I don't expect Matt Boldy to hit that type of potential, but he is a very good hockey player, and he will eventually, in my eyes, he'll eventually hit a point per game player down the road.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar to the Jordan Kyrou thing with the 8x8 contract he signed. A little bit of a different style of player. Kyrou is more about speed, and Matt Boldy is more about just being physical and gritty. And he's got a really good shot. I mean, the guy can snipe. He's a really good player to have on the power play because you can put him in front of the net, and he can also be a good net front presence. But he also has that shot from the circle if you want to put him there on the opposite side of Kaprizov. So really, they're kind of set here. I mean, this is going to be their core for the next 7 years. They're going to have Kaprizov. They're going to have Boldy. Eventually, Rossi will come up when he's ready. This is going to be a good young core that the Wild have.
Yeah, it's really good as well because think about what the Oilers' mistake was with Darnell Nurse. They kept bridging him, and when that happens, they overpay him. So you don't want that situation to happen. And Bill Guerin's so smart that he knows this player he identified that Matt Boldy is a good player, enough player that they want to invest for the future, and they're going to invest him now.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to what Jack Hughes with the Devils. They basically waited for him to show just some sort of potential, have 50 points in 80 games, and they locked him in 8x8. And once again, when he signed 8x8, everyone's like, oh, it's overpaid. He only had 50 points last year. And well, do they look stupid because this guy's got 50 points in the first 40 this year. So, I mean, it's better to gamble sometimes on a young kid you've seen potential in. You know this guy's a first-round pick. This isn't some bum off the street. This is a good player, and he's already shown you what he's capable of at that young of an age. It's only going to get better in my mind. I can't see him getting any worse.
Yeah, another player that comes to my mind is Tim Stützle. He signed that contract, and people were complaining about it. I'm like, it's what he will do in the future. Right? Look at him now. He's like a point per game player.
I think almost every one of these contracts that people whined about that were 8x8 or whatever, they've aged well for almost everyone.
Yeah.
Whether it's Stützle, Kyrou,
yeah, they all
Robertson, Tage Thompson, they all aged well. So why isn't this one going to age well too? Seriously, it's time to stop doubting some of these. These are great. It's good to sign these players in their early 20s.
Yeah, some people are still living the archaic times.
You have to prove it to me first.
Prove it to me first.
If you don't prove it to me.
They think $7 million is a lot of money, but keep in mind that
not anymore.
The time has changed. The time has changed so much now. Top end players players are getting paid $12 million a year now.
And it's going to be higher. It's going to start seeing like 14 million.
That's the reality, and you just got to face it. That's the reality.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to see a guy like Austin Matthews re-sign for $14 million.
Exactly.
Chance,
so why are you complaining about $7 million?
Yeah, for a guy who's going to be a point per game
exactly.
player and is a big part of the future of this team.
Exactly.
Right?
So yeah, that's all we had to say about this topic.
Well, guys, we thought we'd just share that breaking news for you, kind of keep you in the loop. But until our next video, take care.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.